Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boys, Coach Scubar, back here with week 2 of the Baseball Draft League Season 3. We, the Jellicent Jams, are currently sitting 1-0 after our reverse sweep versus the Coach Dylan and the Triple Crown last week. Again, the Jellicent Jams consist of Iron Boulder, Rillaboom, Annihilate, Mouthful, Primarina, Canto Moltres, Alolan Muck, Sandy Shocks, Klefki, and Glaceon. This week we are going up against Coach Nick of the Dino Dogs with Raging Bolt, Walking Wake, Torkoal, Slacking, King Gambit, Oranguru, Galarian Weezing, Uxie, Medicham, and Basculegion White. So you can see this week, I didn't want to go with the Rillaboom versus. He just didn't have anything that was actually. I think besides Basculegion White is the only thing that's weak to grass on his team, and lots of dragons as you can see here. So I decided to go with Iron Boulder, Mousehold, Primarina, Alolan Muck, Sandy Shocks, and Klefki, and he's brought Oranguru, Walking Wake, Medicham, Raging Bolt, Slacking, and Torkoal. So he's got a Trick Room mode here, he's got his Sun mode. Walking Wake and the Raging Bolt, both getting those photosynthesis, are very scary. And then as well as once I see the Medicham Slacking, I was like, that's Skill Swap Pure Power. I'm like, that's how he's going to get rid of the Truant this week. So, just debating. I'm looking at his team here, and I just think that Primarina in the rain from Klefki is actually going to do a lot. It's all fest on Primarina because I knew I wanted her to be my answer into both the Raging Bolt and the Walking Wake. So I lock in those two in the lead with Alolan Muck in the back because after Alolan Muck's great performance last week, and then the Sandy Shocks, leaving the Mousehole, the Follow Me Mousehold, and the Swords Dance Iron Crown to home. Getting into game 1 here, you can see he's led the core. He's led Torkoal, Walking Wake, and everything. So I'm like, all right. I need to immediately Rain Dance to get rid of this photosynthesis, and and if he flamethrowers, I'm like, if this thing is choice specs, I'm like in the sun, photosynthesis, even behind a light screen, Klefki does not live a flamethrower in the sun. So that's why I'm like, I can't go for the sun here. I'm like, I gotta go for the Rain Dance to neutralize these fire type attacks coming out. And then also in case there's a solar beam coming out into my Primarina. Primarina's not really threatened here and everything kind of deal, especially with the Assault Vest. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go for the Moonblast, either forcing him to Terra, reveal a Focus Sash, or just this Walking Wake's gonna go down. So we get the turn 1 Terra out into the Walking Wake here, and we see it's Terra Water. So I'm a little bit worried that now I've set up Rain for this Hydro Stream, because even though we've turned off the photosynthesis, it's now these Hydro Streams are now Terra Water in the rain, which is scary. The Torkoal goes for a Protect. That's fine. I'm sure maybe expecting the water move into it kind of deal, but I recognize the Torkoal is not the threat when you're looking at these two. And now comes the Flamethrower, and you can just see this is why we went for the Rain Dance and not the Light Screen. The Moonblast comes out, and even as a neutral hit, Primarina, okay girl, I was very shocked with that damage. And just seeing how much that does, I was like, does a rain boosted Hyper Voice, because this is Liquid Voice, so it's a water type stab, Hyper Voice. I was like, does this take out the Walking Wake, or at least put it into range where I can Aqua Jet next turn? So seeing that the rain comes out, he wants the sun back up. He switches out Torkoal into Oranguru, so I know he's got the Trick Room mode now, which allows me to get the light screen off for free, and I get the Hyper Voice off into the Protect from the Walking Wake, expecting another Moonblast into it kind of deal. So now I'm feeling already in a lot better position. I've got the rain up, and I've got the light screen up kind of deal. So, and I'm just looking. I'm like, Klefki, you've done your job now. And even though it is the third down, I kind of don't need you to jingle anymore. So I switch out into Muck to be able to just start doing some dark type damage to this Oranguru. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just like, let's just do it. I'm like, let's just get rid of. I'm like, let's get rid of this Walking Wake, because even though I don't think a Hyper Voice does, seeing how much it did to Oranguru. A Hydro Steam comes out, and in the rain, Terra Water, that does hurt, but thank God we got the light screen off, so Muck can take that. The Moonblast comes out, and the Primarina has taken out the legendary, the Beast Ball feared Walking Wake. So, very, very glad I picked up Primarina and everything. It's for an A. I thought she was expensive for an A tier, but we'll see how she goes so far and everything kind of deal. And they get the Trick Room up, so I'm like, all right. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, that's not necessarily too bad because I've got my Muck out on the field. My Muck and Primarina, which are both relatively slow. What? Primarina's base 60 and Muck's base 50, but I think my Muck is actually faster because I did put more speed EVs into my Muck this time around. And so now the Raging Bull comes out, and I'm now scared of. I know with the Assault Vest, I can take one Thunderclap from this booster energy Raging Bolt. However, next to an Oranguru, I cannot take two because he's just going to Instruct as well. So that's why I go for the Terra here. I go for the Terra Fairy because just Terra Fairy seemed like so good into his team. I didn't see like I needed any other defensive Terra besides just removing my electric weakness. Because now I should be able to take two. But he doesn't go for the Thunderclap. He goes, as you see, the Oranguru just goes for the Instruct, but there was nothing to Instruct. So I'm not quite sure what move he actually went here for, or if he just got his speed tiers wrong. But yeah, I really thought that should have been a Thunderclap. And anyways, we get the double. We pick up the double KO here with the Moonblast onto the Raging Bolt to one-hit KO. And then the knockoff onto the Oranguru reveals the Mental Herb, which is good to know because it's good to know for next couple of games because as an anti-Trick Room answer, Durex at my Mousehold is running Taunt, so I won't be able to taunt it if I next game. It's just good to know. But anyways, yeah, the Torkoal comes out here during Trick Room and everything, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident as I have a 4-0 with the light screen still up. So just to stall out these Trick Room turns, I go for the Protect, and obviously I'm AV on Primarina, so I can't do that. And I've lost my Water types here, so this is still going to be just a neutral hit rather than a resisted hit. But with the AV, with the light screen, Primarina just takes that like a champ. And even in the sun, look how much damage that single target Hyper Voice does. Like, Primarina, you definitely were the MVP of this first match here and everything. And now I was just actually getting a little cheeky. I was debating on who I want to give the KO here to, but you know, I just decided, I'm like, you know, we're just gonna double and everything. We're just gonna do it properly. So Primarina, because we're under Trick Room, and Primarina has only 4 speed EVs, where I actually gave my Muck 92 speed EVs. Why did I give Muck 92 speed? Who are we outspeeding again? Who did I want to outspeed? Come here. But anyways, yeah, and then just a quick cleanup and everything. We take game 1, 4-0, pretty convincingly and everything. Cause let's see. Did I want Muck to outspeed? Let's see, Muck gets to 82. Oh, that's why and everything. Yes, because I wanted both of them to get to outspeed. I wanted both of them to be able to outspeed an uninvested Oranguru outside of Trick Room, which is 80. So Primarina hit 81, and then I didn't want to be risking speed ties and everything kind of deal. So that's why I bumped Muck up to 82. But yeah, so anyways, that was a pretty convincing game 1, 4-0 kind of deal. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I don't really want to change too much up and everything. I lead Klefki, Primarina again. I want Muck in the back. And now here's just the part where I'm thinking, I'm like, you know, so I had the Sandy Shocks in the back last time, but he didn't need to come out. And so I'm thinking if that's the correct call or if I want to bring Rocky Balboa, the Iron Boulder. The thing about just Rocky Balboa is, and everything, well, it does have the Mighty Cleave and the Sacred Sword, which is phenomenal. Both of those attacks are phenomenal to Torkoal, Slacking, even Oranguru, as well as both dogs. I'm really gonna I mean, not necessarily. Well, I'd only have to Terra in front of the Walking Wake. Maybe, because it's Terra Grass and everything, so... But I ended up, you know what, I was just like, you know what, we still got another game just in case and everything, so I was like, let me just go Sandy Shocks again. I'm like, you know what, I'll just keep it in the back and everything kind of deal. So 2 weeks, I have now not brought out Iron Boulder onto the field yet. But anyways, here we go for game 2. I lead the same thing, Primarina, Klefki, versus he's now going, not the Walking Wake mode, but the skill swap slacking mode. And I am just like, oh boy, okay, let's see. So the first thing I'm actually worried about here is not necessarily the skill swap right away, but it's the fake out. So, and I'm just kind of thinking, I'm like, all right, if he fakes out Klefki, he's gonna go. I'm like, he's gonna double. I'm like, whoever he fakes out onto, he's most likely doubling up into. And I was like, and I just lose either of them right away. And I was like, well, I'm like, if he doesn't fake out into Klefki, I'm like, I have to get the Reflect up here and everything. I was like, I have to get this Reflect up versus this Slacking. And then Primarina just goes down, and I'll deal with the Dino dogs in the back. And I was like, and if he doubles up into Klefki, I was like, hopefully I'm just like, I'm able to just start getting some good damage off. That's why I didn't even go for the Hyper Voice. I was like, this Medicham won't be a threat, especially once it has Truon. I get the Reflect off because there's no fake out that comes out and everything, which was a little shocked by that, but they just go for the skill swap right away. And then, I mean, hindsight 2020, I see why now, because you saw the Slacking is faster, so the Slacking would have gotten Truon first before the skill swap. And just looking at how little that Moonblast did, I'm like, alright, so this Slacking is AV, and which is good. I don't need to worry about a Protect. I'm like, but it's just going to be a little bit more of a problem to get through. So, but I'm glad I've got the Reflect up and everything. And I was like, you know, let me just get the Rain up now so my water type moves can start doing some more damage. I totally did not predict this whatsoever. I promise you, I genuinely did not predict this. And I see why. His Medicham's now got the Truon, so he wants to switch it out. But he just brought in the Torkoal. So I get the Rain Dance up as soon as the Torkoal comes in, negating the Sun. Slacking gets the Drain Punch off, taking out my Klefki. But you know what, Klefki, it's fine. You did your job. You got the Reflect up, you've got the Rain up. And now we go for a Hyper Voice, which does good damage into Slacking, and one-hit KOs this poor Torkoal that just came in. So, yeah, sorry, Nick. I wasn't I was like, oh, Torkoal's gonna come in here, so I'm gonna do this now. I was just like, that's just genuinely, I was like, let's just start getting some good damage off. But, and now seeing it as Drain Punch and everything, this is going to be a little bit, yeah, of a problem. I was like, the Slacking has got to go, especially now that it has Pure Power. Because you can even see, even behind a Reflect, how much damage this Slacking is putting out. This thing is a threat. So out comes Alolan Muck here, and I'm pretty proud of this set and everything, because you can see it's Knockoff, Poison Jab, Drain Punch, Protect, with Terra Fighting. Terra Fighting just to get that, because I was like, I was looking around, I didn't feel like I necessarily needed a defensive Terra besides just removing weaknesses. And I was like, you know what, I was like, oh, give me that stab on that Drain Punch, because I want it for A, the Slacking, but then also B, this King Gambit that he's got and everything. Because with this type combination, I hit everything on his team for either super effective or for neutral. And so I'm like, you know what, that's the thing, I was like, you know what, I was like, it's game 2, I was like, I'm up a game. I was like, let's reveal it. I'm like, let's reveal the Terra Fighting, Drain Punch, Alolan Muck. So out comes my Terra here. Terra Fighting. Yeah, you power up them Drain Punches kind of deal. And now, I thought this Medicham would have Truon. I didn't realize the Medicham would have Pure Power still, so upon the switch out. So, they fake out my Primarina, which is fine and everything. Drain Punch, you can still see just how much damage Pure Power Slacking versus, like, and it would have been neutral to me if I didn't Terra, because still between the Dark and the Poison typing, you just see how much damage that does and everything. We just Drain Punch for Drain Punch, and, yeah, between Leftovers and Drain Punch, I'm almost back at full HP with my Muck, and this Slacking, I'm like, perfect. I'm like, this Slacking is now in range of a Aqua Jet. Uh, I don't have, obviously I am modest nature on this Primarina, but I am still 31 attack IVs just because I have Aqua Jet on here. And so I was like, with the rain up, I was like, I'm hoping this is enough to KO the Slacking. And I was like, but I know it's a bulky boy, so just in case I doubled up. And so anyway, he reveals the Terra here, and I was like, what is he Terraing? Because the Slacking's low HP, and the Medicham is, well, Medicham. But he reveals the Terra Ghost Slacking, which, I mean, first Terra Ghost is great, because now you're immune to my fighting type attacks. I was not expecting that. But I think he was expecting me to go into the Medicham and then Drain Punch the Slacking again after he got another Drain Punch off. But surprise, surprise, I needed a fourth mood on this Primarina AV set, so it was Aqua Jet, take that out with priority, and we just keep trading Drain Punches back and forth. It goes off into the Medicham, it's fine. It wasn't. I was like, I thought about knock-offing just in case kind of deal to cover for the Slacking, but I didn't want Aqua Jet to not KO. It gets a strong Drain Punch off, and then it's still alive because, well, I mean, it will knock off. I didn't know it was not going to Terra Ghost, or I didn't know it was going to Terra Ghost, but I was like, just in case, what if he didn't? Anyways, Aqua Jet is enough, so all is good. And again, I'm now looking at 3-1. He's got his Raging Bolt coming back in here versus the Medicham. Thunderclap comes out. We take that Assault Vest Primarina. Oh, I love you, baby girl. You're definitely the MVP of this match because it doesn't take out my Primarina. The Drain Punch comes off, gets some good damage off and everything. Knockoff does a good amount to the Medicham, reveals its Focus Sash. I'm like, that's, you know, good information to know. We found the Focus Sash. And because I'm not Terra Fairy this time, the Raging Bolt just barely lives and everything. And so now I'm sitting here, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, his 2 mons outspeed and everything. I've got Sandy Shocks in the back, and I was like, wait a minute, I was like, do I actually lose this? And I was like, I think I lose this if I get into a 2v1. I'm like, because he's gonna, I was like, so I only allow him to take out 1 mon here, which is why I go for the Protect. Thunderclap's my Primarina, it's fine. You know, good baby girl, you did your job. I'm like, very proud of you this set. And yeah, and then the Drain Punch again comes out. We never revealed, he didn't reveal what the 4th move on his Medicham is. We saw Skill Swap, we saw Fake Out, we saw Drain Punch. I don't know whether it was a I feel like if it was a Psychic move, he would have gone for it into my Alolan Mach, which is why I'm scared it's like Ice Punch as his last move. Because anyways, the Sandy Shocks comes out here now. And I'm just like, this is losable. I am like, this is a losable situation. I was like, let's say like he Thunderclaps my Alolan Mach, that gets knocked out, and then he's got like Ice Punch into my Medicham, or Ice Punch on Medicham kind of deal. So I'm just thinking about, I'm like, you know, exactly, I'm like, okay, if I do this, he does that, if I does this, he does that, and everything. But in the end, I think this is the best outcome is, I was like, I can, you know, I probably should have gone into, because I was worried about maybe he Draco Meteors into my Sandy Shocks kind of deal, and then just goes for the KO onto the Medicham. But I was like, so yeah, so I was like, I think that's how I lose if I target the Medicham with Sandy Shocks. So I just go for the Earth Power with Raging Bolt, or onto the Raging Bolt to knock that out to prevent him from Draco meeting my Sandy Shocks. He just goes for the Thunderclap onto Mach, takes out Mach. We're now down to a 1v1, and he goes for the Drain Punch again. Just, okay, so I'm like, alright. I'm like, sweet. I'm like, if he's going for the Drain Punch, I'm like, he doesn't have Ice Punch and everything. So I think that means this is a GG, because Sandy Shocks is going to outspeed here. Here I'm just doing some damage calcs and everything to see how much how much my moves do versus a Medicham. And I don't know, I just went for the Thunderbolt just because I felt like it. Because you saw Earth Power and Thunderbolt quite literally have the same base HP. They're the base power and everything, and they're both neutral hits, so yeah, anyways, Sandy Shocks with the cleanup, outspeeding the Medicham. A much closer game 2, but we take Coach Nick and the Dino Dogs 2-0, putting ourselves 2-0 in the Beast Ball Draft League. So GG's to Coach Nick and everything. You definitely got some scary pairs between Medicham Slacking, Torkoal, Walking Wake, and then even just Raging Bolt alone is a huge threat on your team and everything. But yeah, next week is week 3. We are against the Roaring Tide of Coach Harvey with Incineroar, Tornadus, Metagross, Palafin, Porygon 2, Sableye, Alcremie, Rhyperior, Electrode, Hisui, and Braviary Hisui. So, yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Coach Scubar, over and out.